Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer 40k, and today we're going to take a look at the Combat Patrol Tau Empire box set and how we can use this box set to start a Tau Empire force for Warhammer 40k. In this video, we'll go through the contents of the entire Tau Empire box set and talk about what all the units inside the box set do and how they act on the tabletop. And then we'll take a look at some other units we can bring into the force to expand upon this initial box set to build us up to a first 1000 point army list. And then at the end of the video, we'll show you a 1000 point army sample list for you to use as some inspiration to build up your own Tau Empire force, or indeed copy our list if that's what you wish to do. So with all of that, let's talk about what exactly we get in the box set. And the first thing we get is we get an ethereal. This is the guy on the left hand side, you can see there, and he's essentially a Tau Empire priest. He's got some really cool abilities that he can do. He's got invocations that he has access to. He's got some nice upgrades available to him. In general, he's just a sort of a figurehead for the army. Failure is not an option, is one of the auras you can put on this model, where friendly Tau Empire core units within 6 inches of the ethereal models in the units use this model's leadership, which is really nice considering the ethereal has a nice high leadership of 10. Strength of conviction and other things you can chuck on this model can give him some decent saves. You can get invulnerable saves thanks to his drone shield generator if you choose to get shield drones with him. Now the one thing is, if you've got an ethereal, you can't do a Farsight Enclave Sept, as they sort of don't get along all that well. But other than that, his Honor Blade isn't too shabby in close combat, though he only has a 3 attacks, strength +2, AP -1, damage 2, and he is -1 to hit when he's using that weapon, but nothing too shabby. Now alongside him, we actually get another HQ option in the box set, and that is the Cadre Fireblade. This is pretty much a Fire Warrior leader type unit. He's got a cool aura ability called Volley Fire, where friendly Sept core units within 6 inches of this model, each time they make an attack with a pulse weapon on a modified hit of a 6 scores 1 additional hit, so it can really do some cool damage. On top of that, he's able to take some drones in his own right, and he's got his own Fireblade Pulse Rifle, which is a rapid fire strength 5 AP -2 damage 2 weapon. Looking at the units, the first thing we have is we have the Ghost Knell Battlesuit. This is an elite choice for the Tau Empire, and it's the larger battlesuit you can see at the back there. This can pretty much be equipped in 2 different ways, and I honestly, with something like the Ghost Knell that's got a decent amount of firepower but not an overbearing amount, I recommend going one way or the other with it. You can build it for more tank hunting or build it for more infantry killing out of the 2 orders. You can also have some cool upgrades for it, like the flare launcher, where it can actually stop strength 7 characteristic attacks on a 5+, effectively shooting flares out to stop missiles and stuff hitting it. Its stealth field generator is really cool as well, where the unit cannot be selected as a target for range attack unless it is the closest enable target or the firing model is within 18 inch. And also it gets to infiltrate as well. You can have some cool weaponry. I really do like its Fusion Collider with a heavy 3, strength 9, -4 AP, damage D6 weapon, and each time this targets an enemy unit within half range, it's D6 +2 damage. And the Fusion Blasters are effectively strength 8, assault 1 variations of this, and you can equip a bunch of different tank hunting weapons. There are some other cool builds as well with this particular model that you can use to build a more troop infantry light armor sort of version of this model. Alongside it, we get another elite choice, in the stealth suits. Once again, they have the infiltrator ability. They also have a homing beacon where they can choose to set up off the board and come on near the homing beacon you set up at the beginning of the game. And their camouflage fields are really nice, where each time an attack is made against this unit, you subtract 1 from the attack's hit roll, and each time a ranged attack is allocated to a model in this unit whilst receiving the benefits of color, you can add an additional 1 to any armor saving throw this unit would make. Once again, you can put in a fusion blaster in the unit, but I think the burst cannons are generally quite nice. They're good at taking out light infantry. They don't have any AP, but assault 6, strength 5, damage 1 is pretty good at tearing through some hordes. Lastly, we have the 10 Fire Warriors, which can be built as either a strike team or a breacher team, and these come in different variations. Now, the breacher team is effectively a more shorter range variation of the unit. It's going to have the Pulse Blasters, which are an 8-inch close and long range 14, where they're assault 2, strength 5 or 6 if they're at close range. They get the extra strength and extra AP at AP -2 or -1 if they're at long range, damage 1. You can take support turrets in them, which is really cool. They can have marker light drones and some other benefits to them as well, which is really nice. And then you've got the strike team, which is a more long-ranged option. We can have pulse rifles, which are a rapid-fire one weapon at range 36, strength 5, -1 AP, damage 1. So a much longer range, though you're generally going to crack out with less strength and less AP out of those. So it's really two different sorts of units for two different styles of play. And so, where do we look to expand upon this Tau Empire force? Well, I think grabbing a Breacher team or a Strike team, the opposite one of what you grabbed in that initial box set, and getting yourself a second Fire Warrior unit. First of all, it's really important to get yourself 2 troops choices, as you're going to need troops to play the game in its best format, and using the battalions that aren't going to stop you getting command points and stuff like that. So you definitely want to get 2 troops. Now, I've talked about them already, but what I want to talk about now is the Devilfish. This goes really nice with the Breacher teams. Where you've got your Strike teams, which are much more longer range, the Breacher team wants to get up much closer. So having a transport like the Devilfish is really useful. The Devilfish enables you to transport up to 12 Tau Sept models, drones and stuff, and models, a recon drone. It cannot transport battlesuit models, however. You've got some cool different things that this model can take. First of all, you've got the Armoured Aggression, where at the start of the first battle round before the first turn begins, you select the mod card Tactical Philosophy at the start of the battle. This unit can make a normal move of up to 9 inch, enabling you to get your Breacher team up a little bit closer. It potentially has some drones docked in it, and normally a couple of gun drones. And it's got Tactical Disengagement, where if you've selected the Counter and Tactical Philosophy instead, at the start of the battle, if this mission you are playing uses Strategic Reserves rule, you can remove this unit and set it up as Strategic Reserves, and anything inside it, which is pretty cool. It's got a couple of different weapons, like the Accelerated Burst Cannon for Assault 8, Strength 6, -1 AP, damage 1, and some Pulse Carbines on the drones. Not too bad for a transport. Now, speaking of continuing to talk about armor, Hammerheads are amazing. This is the Tau's heavy gunship. It's got a really cool gun. First of all, the railgun is a 72-inch range, heavy 1, strength 14, -6 AP, damage D3 +6. And each time this attack is made with this weapon, invulnerable saves cannot be made against this weapon. And each time a successful wound roll is made for this attack, with this weapon, the target suffers 3 mortal wounds in addition to any other damage. So you've got a potential for 12 damage coming out of this gun, just straight out. It's going to ignore a lot of stuff. It's a really powerful tank. It, of course, can have an ion cannon, which is a different weapon loadout that the model has access to. It has drones stocked as others, and can also have some additional pulse carbines on top of it, or indeed some other guns in other formats. It's got some nice stuff. The targeting rate is really nice on the Hammerhead, where you can reroll 1 hit roll when resolving attacks, so really good for that railgun. And it's also got the threat identification protocol, where each time this model makes a range attack, it can only target the closest eligible unit. So it does have a little bit restricted in what it can do, but it means it's, getting that shot off and targeting something and getting it lined up nice and quick is really solid. Next up, we have Vespid. This is the last unit I want to talk about, because the reason I like Vespid is because Marines are everywhere in the game. So Vespid are dedicated Marine killers. First of all, they can start off the board and come down where you want them, but they're neutron blasters, range 18 inch, assault 2, strength 5, -A3, AP 3, damage 2 are dedicated Marine killers. These guys can straight up do some serious damage to Marines. They are only weapon skill, but a skill 4+, strength and toughness 4 and 1 wound, but a good unit of Vespid will definitely do some damage to Marines on the table, and really just with their movement and their ability to be jump units as well, is just really useful for getting around the table and taking out some heavily armored Marine or Marine-like targets. And so here we have our little sample army list for you. We've gone for a patrol detachment as our warlords in the detachment. It's not going to cost us any CP. 999 points, 55 power level if that's how you like to play. Now, we've gone for the Taal Sept as our Sept for the army. I think this one's just a nice basic one. Really good for sort of starting. Each time a unit with this tenant is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit or wound roll when resolving the attacks. You add 3 inch to the range of all aura abilities of models with this tenant, and each time a model with this tenant intones an invocation that is not an aura, or use an ability in your command phase that specifies a range, you add 3 inch to the range of that invocation or ability. Pretty solid stuff. It sort of makes all your benefits better. You've got an Ethereal in there to get your invocation benefits. I think for starting, this is just a good one, and you can definitely explore more options later. Now, we've got our Cadre Fireblade in here, and he's going to have a marker drone with him. And then we're also going to have him with a marker light himself, which is really nice. Marker lights are really useful to have around a tower army. We then got an Ethereal, who's going to be our Warlord. He's going to have the Strength of Conviction trait, which is going to allow him to, each time he loses a wound on a 5+, he doesn't. He's then going to have Storm of Fire and Wisdom of the Guides as his two different invocations you can take. Wisdom of the Guides gives you some extra command points, and Storm of Fire, you're allowed to select a friendly Tower Empire core unit, excluding far-side enclaves, within 6 inches of the Ethereal. That unit can make any ranged attacks without any actions failing, which is really, really useful. He's then got the Humble Stave as well, where in your command phase the bearer is on the battlefield, you can attune one additional invocation it knows, and each time the bearer entones the invocation, you add 1. So pretty solid stuff, getting +1 extra range. He's also going to have a shield drone and a shield with its shield generator to give him some extra protection. Now, we've then got a Breacher team in here with a shield drone and a marker drone. Then we've got the support turret with a missile pod. We then have our strike team with the missile pod as well, which is going to be setting up much further upfield. So this is just going to be our 2 troops. Effectively, our strike team will set up backfield, and we'll be doing, longer range firepower. Meanwhile, the breaches will be up in our Devilfish we've got with the gun drones and the accelerated burst cannon in there, bringing that force forward. Our Ghost Nil battlesuit, as I sort of suggested, we've gone for 2 fusion blasters and the fusion collider. We've got a flare launcher on it as well, and he's got his stealth drones as per standard, a really good anti-tank piece. Meanwhile, we've gone for the stealth battlesuit to have a marker drone on them, and they've gone all burst cannon for some anti-infantry work. So you've got the 2 different things that can infiltrate here. One's anti-tank, one anti-infantry. We're then going to have Vespid Stingwing, a unit of 10 Stingwings, and then we've got a Hammerhead, a gunship with the railgun in there as the final piece of the army, giving us a good variety of different things. We've got anti-infantry, we've got anti-marine, we've got anti-tank, we've got some really anti-heavy stuff in the Hammerhead. We've got some objective grabbers that are going to be able to do actions without having to give away their shooting thanks to our Ethereal. All in all, some really nice stuff. You can definitely also pop that Cadre Fireblade in with the Devilfish and the Breacher team if you really wanted to. There's a lot of options to play around with in this tower. This tower are super fun for an army, and they do have such a cool aesthetic. If you've been playing with Tower in Warhammer 40k, let us know how you've been going and what you've been doing down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and drop us a comment. Let us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can come and join our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by supporting us on Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked down in the video's description, or you can indeed go grab some merch on our Ko-fi store. We've got some cool Sinful Gaming dice, which you'll see used on the channel, down for sale in there. Lastly, as a special thanks to everyone who supports on Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out on every video we do that you support. So a thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Alderan Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Dynet226, and Derek. And a shout out to our YouTube members, and a massive thank you as well to Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Villy, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, and Pink Nico Fire. Lastly, a massive thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to Xmorphic, who has done amazing work in setting up our Discord server and doing amazing work over there. Thank you all for watching once again. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.